which indicates how we are using cyberspace for financial transactions. So this is a pie chart which shows the online stores monthly sales by industry-wise in India in 2025. It's an estimated projected figure. So you can see here that the online stores monthly sales is going to be $1.17 trillion, right, in this year of 2025, which is a huge amount. It's in dollars and in trillions, right? So it's a huge amount, right? So we can understand the magnitude of usage of online stores by people to purchase online, meaning it's a financial transaction which is going to happen, right? And this is the forecasted growth of Indian e-commerce market in US dollars for the next 10 years, right? You can see that it is continuously growing for quite some time. It has been growing since 2021, and it would see a drastic growth in the next 10 years, right? It is going to multiply several folds in the next 10 years, right? So e-commerce is going to grow to a large extent, right? Similarly, we can be proud that we are the largest user of online payment mechanism. UPI is the largest payment gateway of the world, and it has so many transactions happening on a daily basis, right? Okay, so digital payment transactions. This is the actual figures of 2024 for a period of 6 months. You can see that it averages for about 1,700 crores every month, right? 1,700 crores per every month is a huge amount, right? So digital transactions every month scales to that much amount, right? Okay, so similarly, if you see the growth in the digital payment transactions since 2017, it has seen a continuous growth, right? And this is the partial figure of 2024. The financial year is not at all. So, I mean, these financial figures are not yet complete, but this is a partial figure of 2024 for the August. So, meaning it's only for the 3 months or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, right? 4 months on this side. For 4 months alone, this was the figure of digital payment transactions, right? UPI payments, people to pay to merchant and pay to payer to pay, right? Payer to pay. So these two prepay transactions, you can see that 62% of UPI payments are from the payer to the merchant, right? Similarly, from payer to pay, meaning person to person, it is about 37%. So there's huge amount of volume which is being transacted through UPI. It is about it is about 1,496 crores, 1,500 crores, right? So for the month of August 24 alone, that is a huge amount, right? So this is another statistics in the recent statistics from the NCPI portal, which says that in the last 4 months, this is the volume of transaction. So this is the volume of transaction in millions, right? So you can see the size of the transaction which is happening online. So financial security is becoming more and more important because the transactions which are online are increasing day by day to a huge amount, right? At a huge scale, right? This is one awareness video which people often overlook, is that mobile apps installed and used, right? You can see here that we have age-wise categories here, right? 11 to 20, the teenage category, and then we have the youth category, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and 51 to 60. You can see here that in this category, the college completion category or the post graduation category and the job hitting category, the apps installed and the apps used have a huge difference. So it means that if you are not using an app, having that in your device is a vulnerability, right? The apps do come with vulnerabilities. There are no apps which don't have vulnerabilities, right? So so the number of apps which are used by this age group and the number of apps installed has a huge gap. So why should we have so many apps which are unused and installed in our device, adding to the vulnerability of the device, right? So we should cut down on that, right? So we should ensure that the gap between the used and the installed apps is as minimal as possible. So this is from a device security perspective for the user, right? Okay, so identifying fake websites, right? Every link that we get, how do we identify fake websites? There are a few shortcuts, so using which we can roughly say whether that can be a malicious link or not, right? Always check the URL. Check the URL for the usage of digits. If the URL has too many digits present in it, if the URL has too many digits present in it, it means that the URL is not human created. It's created by machine or generated by a bot, right? So in that case, if there are too many digits in a URL, then it has an inclination towards being a malicious URL, malicious link, right? If there are special characters, of course, there is a restriction for special characters on the URL link, but if there are special characters, the number of special characters should be minimal, right? If there are too many special characters in the complete length of the name of the URL, then there is a suspicion on that, right? Length of the website name, right? Length of the website name should be 62 characters. Here, for example, https://cdag.in. The name of the website is cdag, is the name of the website, right? .in is called the TLD. Actually, name of the website is cdag, right? CDS, right? So if the name is more than 62 characters, the research says that conventionally all the domain names are the name of the website is below 62 characters, but if it is more than 62 characters, then it has an inclination towards a maliciousness, right? Okay. Number of dots. If the number of dots, you can see here www.cdag.research.development.in, right? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dots are there. Okay, if the number of dots are more than 4, then there is a suspicion, there is an inclination towards maliciousness. You need to check that domain name. Okay, we are not talking about the complete URL, we are talking about the domain name alone now. This is the domain name. If it is URL, there will be a slash and there will be a path after this. Okay, right? So if there is more than, if there exists more than 4 dots, then there is a doubt factor on the domain name. It may be used for a malicious purpose, right? Okay. The condition of this 4 dots evolves because there is the DNS ecosystem allows actually for maximum 4 levels, but if it is beyond those levels, then you have your own setup of resolution of the domain name in your infrastructure that may indicate that it is a malicious usage. Okay, but nowadays you have many cloud URLs which have more than 4 dots. So it is not a hard and fast rule that more than 4 dots will indicate a maliciousness. Okay, because we have many cloud URLs nowadays which are coming up, and those cloud URLs have a more of a depth in the domain name, so which can have more than 4 dots. But yes, if there is a 4 dot, we need to investigate that link for a maliciousness. HTTP is good nowadays. Every portal is HTTPS. HTTPS is good. Good meaning quite trustable. HTTP is definitely bad. Okay, none of the HTTP are entertained, or they should be entertained. They never click on a HTTP link, right? Language tone. You visit a website, look at the language tone. If there is some inconsistency in the grammar, meaning the person who has created the website has put some content in the website in a hurried way. Okay, he's in a hurry and he wants to just post that page with urgency. Okay, so there will be inconsistency in the grammar, right? So if there is some inconsistency in the grammar, or there is some threatening language like the data will be lost, or your machine will be hacked, or anything of that kind, then there is an inclination that the website may be a fake website, right? If there are too many pop-ups or advertisements, okay, these pop-ups and advertisements tempt the user to click on those pop-ups or advertisements, right? So one has to see if there are too many pop-ups or advertisements which are trying to tempt the user to click on one of them, then there can be a malicious website. Okay, it can be fake website, right? Okay. Understanding the difference between HTTP and HTTPS is that the first case, you have the login page and the card details are here. If you are going with a HTTP service, the data transferred from your web page to the server which is providing that service will be in plain text, and anyone in between can tap the values and read them. Okay, and read them, and they can reuse the values somewhere in future, impersonalizing you, right? So HTTP is a plain text communication. Anyone trying to tap the value in between can know what exactly is being transmitted, right? Similarly, if it is a HTTPS link, then it is encrypted, right? It is encrypted. So this, when it is encrypted, the man in the middle, can't be reading what actually is being transmitted. The maximum possible thing is that he may alter the packet and send across, if he has somehow accessed it, but it will lead to failure of credentials on the other side. But the man in the middle will not know what exactly is getting transmitted. That will be not known to him, right? So that is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. So always go for HTTPS, which is an encrypted channel of communication, right? Phishing attack. Phishing attack is an attack in which attempt is made to steal some credentials. It can be usernames, passwords, some OTP, or card details, credit card or debit card details, right? An attack in which some credentials of the user are tried to be stolen is called as a phishing attack, right? Let's try to understand a phishing attack, right? So this is a link which probably is a, which not probably, yes, it is a phishing link. You can see that it was received through a SMS, and the SMS had a message like, dear customer, your SBI bank account has been suspended for verification. Please complete your KYC by click here link this thing. Okay, so you can carefully read this sentence. You can see that there are some grammatical errors, right? And you know that SBI is a big brand, and any message from SBI will not usually have grammatical errors, right? And there is no comma. Dear customer, the comma is missing there, right? Your SBI bank account has been suspended for verification. Verification is a capital V here. And if the SBI bank is sending me an SMS, then of course they will have the account number with some part of the account number redacted, right? The partial part of the account number will be visible in the SMS because they know that they are sending to me, right? I am the account holder, they are sending to me. So the account number will be seen there. The account number is not seen here, right? Similarly, please complete, there is no full stop here. And after that, you have please complete your KYC by click here link, right? Which is again a wrong English. And the link is here, right? So this is obviously a phishing link. And you can see that it has been sent from a mobile number, right? It should not be sent from a mobile number. Usually brands, big service providers have their own SMS gateways, right? And they send SMS from those SMS gateways, right? So you'll have the name coming here. It will be service, SBI or something of that kind. Name would appear here instead of a mobile number, right? So no organization will send a message from a mobile number, right? Okay, so this is first indication of being a malicious message. And in the malicious message, you can find a few grammatical errors. That is the second indication that it is a malicious link. And in the malicious link, let's try to decode what exactly is that. The link which is present here is shown here now. In this, you have the HTTP. Okay, of course, we know that HTTP is bad. Nobody offers a service on a HTTP service, and that too SBI is never going to do that, right? Okay, so it's a HTTP service, which again indicates that it's a malicious link, right? It's a random alphanumeric combination of website name. The website name has random alphanumeric combination, which obviously indicates that it is machine generated or program generated, right? So such domain names will not be entertained by brand companies, right? And SBI slash SBI Bank. Okay, the SBI is a brand. Okay, it cannot appear at the end of the URL. Okay, so actually this is the domain name. This part is actually the domain name, and SBI Bank is coming after the domain name. Okay, which is not possible. When it is a brand, the brand is supposed to appear in the domain name itself, not in the path of the URL. The path of the URL will be something else like update check or update balance or something of that kind, right? But the name of the brand is not going to appear on the URL per se, right? So it has to appear in the domain name part. So SBI should ideally appear somewhere here, okay, right? So this is a malicious URL trying to perform a phishing attack, right? Because once we click on this, it may open a page which is very much similar to the SBI bank page itself. It's easier to create. It's easier to create a copy of the existing web pages, right? So if you type in your username and password into that link, then of course you are going to lose the credentials to attack, right? Okay. Common tricks. This is another URL wherein if the SBI is appearing the domain name itself, right? You have the name as SBI update KYC.in. Okay, this itself is a domain name. SBI update KYC. That itself is a domain name, right? So which is not possible, because if this is the case for each service that that SBI would provide thousands of services. For each service, they will have to create a separate domain name. SBI checkbook, SBI savings bank, SBI current bank.in, SBI demat account.in. So that is not possible, right? So the brand will maintain a single gateway, and you need to select your service after going to that single website, right? So a service cannot exist as an independent website, right? So ideally, the URL can be like this: sbi.in/update KYC, or it may be online sbi.in .com or .in/update KYC, right? Any of this is possible, right? Now SBI has bought its own TLD, so it is actually online SBI.SBI is the actual SBI domain, right? This is the original, right? Okay. So a brand cannot be hosting a separate service for each of, say, separate website for each of its services that it offers. Okay, so this is of course a phishing URL, right? And here is a phishing email, and of course it's in Japanese. So if you look at this email, the email says the center address is something like this: Amazon at security.co.jp, right? JP stands for, it's a CCTLD of Japan, country code TLD of the top level domain of Japan. Security.co, it's absolutely fine. If you per se go by this, it's absolutely fine. But if you look at the left part of it, the brand name never appears on the left part. The left part of the at the rate, left side of the at the rate, right? The left side of the at the rate will always have the service name. It will either say service at amazon.security.co.jp or customer care at amazon.security.co.jp, right? So the Amazon has to come on the brand, has to come on the right side of the at the rate. It can't appear on the left side of the at the rate, right? Because these are names of the service that they are going to give. So names will appear here, and the brand will appear on the right side of the at the rate, right? So that is to be taken care of. So obviously this is a mail email which is sent for phishing, right? An attack of phishing. Right, attacks through messages, right? So this is one of the game portals, and you can see here that these are tiny URLs, right? These are tiny URLs, and they are HTTP URLs, right? HTTP URLs, of course, you need to ignore, never touch them, right? Even if it is HTTPS, and if it is a tiny URL, you will have to carefully investigate what exactly is that tiny URL pointing to, referring to, right? The URL appears different, but it is pointing to a different destination, right? For example, nowadays this happens a lot. This is used to a large extent because let's say that you have a survey form created on Google Forms or something, and when you try to share that survey form link which is on the Google Forms with someone, the URL will be really huge, will be too lengthy, right? To cut short the length of that URL, usually people use tiny URL service to shrink the URL into a small compact URL of this kind, right? Which is machine generated, obviously. So when it is machine generated, it is going to be alphanumeric. There is no difference in that, right? So this tiny URL is easier, can be used to easily cheat users to make them land onto a malicious page or make them download a malware or so, right? So any tiny URL, investigate that tiny URL's reference before you go to it. If you find this on a web page or an email, hover over it and see exactly what where it is referring to. Okay, check for that reference and then try to visit the URL. Only if you are sure that it is a genuine URL. Okay, otherwise copy this URL, paste it in the malicious URL checking engines for maliciousness, assure that it is not malicious, and then visit them. Right? Okay. Right. Online shopping is something which we are doing. We just now saw a few statistics based on that, and online shopping is being used to a large extent. So always keep track of your digital payments. Any SMS notifications, any email notifications you get, you check whether you did it or it is from somewhere else. Someone has stolen your credentials and trying to perform transactions on your behalf. Right. Shop only through trusted websites. The website should be HTTPS, and check for the HTTPS certificates on them, whether they are issued to the exact e-commerce portal which it is supposed to be, or is it a free certificate like your latest encrypt certificate or so on. Right? Check for the shop only through trusted websites. Right? So, and check the security aspects of the website, right? Check whether the URL website name is 62 characters or more than that, whether it is having alphanumeric characters or is it human readable quite comfortably or so on, and check for those details on a website. Don't save the credit card details or bank details on the website, right? Often when you try to make payment through card details or bank details, the e-commerce portal gives options saying, do you want to save the details for future transactions, or you don't want to save? Better is that you don't save the card details or the bank details on the website, right? Okay. Never respond to email which asks your purchases, right? Never responds to email which asks your purchases. Of course, the e-commerce portal asks for reviews. You may visit the login into your e-commerce portal and give your review or feedbacks in that portal instead of responding through the emails, right? It's better not to respond through the emails. Don't click on links offering discounts or prices. Okay, so these discounts and prices are used to tempt the user, and so don't fall prey to this by clicking on links which are hinting at discounts or prices. Online loan fraud, this is happening to a large extent, so never go for an online fraud online loan which is actually fraud nowadays. They won't ask for any credentials. They'll be in a hurry to collect personal details and financial details, and they'll ask you to install an app onto your device, and using that app they'll steal credentials from your mobile device, and meaning your contact details, your photos, your personal details will be with those loan agencies, so they can threaten the user in whatever way they want, because the complete personal data is with them, right? So online fraud, they usually are in a hurry to collect personal and financial details, right? They demand advance payment in the name of processing fee, right? They demand advance payment in the name of processing fee. So they get the money and they may not give the loan also, right? So you'll be losing the processing money that you are given. Unsecure website raising doubts on the integrity of the website and the lender, right? It will be mostly HTTP website, or it may be a malicious link. It may be phishing link or malicious link, right? Creating fake urgency. in the name of limited period offers and so on. We know that, right? They try to prompt the user as much as possible to take a decision soon, and will end up asking money from them, right? No physical address or contact details of the lender. Usually, online loan providers don't have a physical address. They don't have an office, and they don't publish their contact details anywhere. Lender is not registered. Of course, it is not registered because they don't have a physical address and contact details, right? So these are online fraud, online loan fraud agencies. Anyone calling you and offering a loan, never go for it. No one is so liberal or generous to offer a loan just on a phone call, right? So they need several credentials before they offer a loan, right? We may have to, if we are in need of a loan, better to approach financial organizations in person. Take some time, don't be in a hurry, and complete the process and take a loan from there instead of going for online loans, which are mostly frauds. Okay, understanding Aadhaar ecosystem. Aadhaar is into our life in every point, and there are some misunderstandings of Aadhaar ecosystem. So to clear those misunderstandings, here we have the a brief introduction to Aadhaar and its security aspects, right? Aadhaar, we know that we have an Aadhaar number, and that Aadhaar number is connected to the biometric values that we carry, right? Our fingerprint, our iris, our face, all are saved as biometric values for the Aadhaar, right? Okay. If you fear, if you fear, meaning, of course, you have to fear sharing your actual Aadhaar ID. So instead of sharing your actual Aadhaar ID, you can generate a virtual ID by visiting the Aadhaar portal, uida.gov.in, and you can visit that and generate a virtual ID. And this virtual ID can be shared. Okay, so it's for a period. You can change the virtual ID after some time. Okay, right? So you share the virtual ID. Once the authentication process for that service is complete, then you can have the virtual ID recreated. A different virtual ID can be created for a different service provider, right? So you can keep on changing the virtual ID, right? So use virtual ID in place of Aadhaar for any services where you are using Aadhaar authentication, right? So you can avoid sharing your Aadhaar number. Instead, share your virtual ID, right? Okay. Virtual ID will also be a 16-digit number, and virtual ID will be a 16-digit number, random number, which is mapped to your Aadhaar number, right? And that's a one-to-one mapping between the virtual ID and the Aadhaar number, right? Okay. Use of virtual ID is optional, right? So use of virtual ID is optional. If you want to share Aadhaar number instead, you are sure about that, you can definitely share that. Okay. Virtual ID will be temporary and shall be automatically revoked once the Aadhaar holder generates a new virtual ID. Okay. So you generate a virtual ID, share that with the service provider, whomever you want to share with. Once the service is given to you, then you change your virtual ID. Okay, meaning that virtual ID which was earlier shared cannot be used for malicious purposes, right, or other purposes, right? Okay, so so you can generate your virtual ID by visiting uida.gov.in, right? So this is so instead of sharing Aadhaar number, always use your virtual ID, which can be shared from the UIDA portal, right? Okay, how many times can we change our virtual ID? Virtual ID can be changed as many times. There is no limit to that. Of course, it has a time span. Within a time after time span, it goes off. So as you change your virtual ID, the previous virtual ID is going to be scrapped. It will be of no more use. Exactly. Okay. So mAadhaar is a mobile app. You can see here it has been mAadhaar is a mobile app, and it has been downloaded by 10 crore. It has 10 crore downloads. It has seen, and it has seen about 4 lakh reviews. So mAadhaar is a very good app, and this app gives you the freedom of locking your credentials. Okay, you can lock your biometric values, usage of your biometric values or Aadhaar number through this app, and when you want the Aadhaar number or its details to be shared with someone, then you unlock it on your mAadhaar app and allow the details to be shared. Once the sharing is complete, you can again lock it up, right? So that is the thing. Okay, fine. So you can update your profile, your Aadhaar profile on your mobile using mAadhaar, right? You can update it. You can share your updated Aadhaar profile via QR code, right? You can, if you want to take a service by sharing your Aadhaar credentials, you can generate a QR code on the mAadhaar app and share that QR code with others for service, for availing some service, right? Okay, right. So you can lock your biometric data in your mAadhaar so that no one misuses it. No, I mean, no one is able to misuse it even if they want it. And there is a time-based OTP service which is present. It can be generated using mAadhaar, time-based OTP. Okay, you fix the time, and depending on the time, you generate OTP. And you can share your eKYC information with only service provider, right? You can enable the eKYC option in your mAadhaar app so that the service provider can access your Aadhaar details and provide you the service that they want to cater to, right? So it has seen 10 crore downloads, right? Yeah, there is another myth about some biometric data being misused by some agencies, but as far as the Aadhaar ecosystem is concerned, they have something called a CIDR. The CIDR stands for Central Identities Repository. Central Identities Repository. ID is identities. R stands for repository, right? CIDR. So this CIDR is the Central Identities Repository. This CIDR hosts all the biometric data and all the Aadhaar data of the residents of India in this server, right? And this server is accessible only through private lease lines by empaneled ASA, authentication service agencies. ASAs are nothing but authentication service agencies. So authentication service agencies are the ones which connect through private lease lines through CIDR. So meaning CIDR is not open for others to connect except for the ASA agencies. They are empaneled agencies and they are called as authentication service agencies, right? So authentication service agencies have been empaneled by UIDAI, and they are the ones who can connect to the CIDRs for authentication. And all the service providing agencies, okay, all the citizen service providing agencies have to connect to this ASA through another layer of security, which is called as AUAs, authentication user agencies, right? So these are authentication devices who are service providers. They need to either connect to AUA directly or through a sub AUA to the AUA directly to avail these services of CIDR, Aadhaar authentication, right? To avail the service. So if you carefully see, CIDR is a chakra view in which you have ASA layer. Around ASA, you have this AUA layer, and around AUA, you have this sub AUA layer. And all the service providers are either at the level of sub AUA or after this level of sub AUA, right? So this is the chakra view. So it's not easy to connect for access for other authentication, breaking so many layers. So data is preserved and protected, right? Okay. Okay. Internet banking. I saw a few questions on the chat window. Might be just we'll finish the session and try to address the questions. So internet banking is nothing but you try to perform a transaction using internet banking, right? Customer selects a product or service, right? You go to an e-commerce portal, you select a product, right? You select the product, and you select the payment method as internet banking, right? You select the payment method as internet banking, and you select the bank to which you want to in which you have your account, right? You select the option of internet banking, then you select the specific bank, let it be SBI or Indian Bank or any of the banks. You select the bank to which you want to get, right? And then the app routes yourself to the banking website. You put in your customer ID and MPIN or login credentials or whatever, right? The credentials that you want to access that you use to access your banking website are fed in, right? And this, and then you receive a OTP on your mobile asking for completion of the transaction, right? You enter the OTP, and then you get the you get the transaction done, and then you select the select the order and complete it, right? You complete the order by entering the OTP and completing the transaction, right? Okay. So this is the general flow and of any of the payment that you do, right? So you have here the e-commerce portal. In between, you go to the payment gateway here, right, to the third-party website, and through the payment gateway, you go to the third-party website, third-party meaning financial transaction website. You make the payment and then you complete the payment, coming back to your original e-commerce website, right? So this is the general flow, and yeah, coming to UPI, Unified Payment Interface. There are two types of. Okay, fine. There are two types of payment, right? One is in which you want to make a payment, and the other is in which someone wants to request a payment from you, right? So there are two types of payments. So you have your mobile app, right? You launch your mobile app. Payers service provider, right? This is payers service provider, payment service provider. It connects to the UPI. It sends a request to the UPI, and this UPI validates whether the pay details are correct, whether the pay details has pay detail is correct, and whether it has a UPI active or not, right? It is UPI active or not, right? So once it is UPI active, if the assurance is received, and once the assurance is received, it goes to the remitter bank, meaning the bank from which the amount has to be debited. Debit happens, and then the beneficiary bank, the other pays bank, is credited the amount, and the flow returns to the payer himself at the mobile app, indicating that the transaction is complete. So this is the transaction. So when you hit the UPI, you will have to put your UPI credentials to make the payment, so that the remitter bank can allow for the debit to happen from your transaction, right? So this is the general flow. If someone wants to request the payment from you, then the payee will request send a request on the UPI, right? So when the request is sent by the payee, of course it has to check whether the payer's UPI is active or not, whether there's a valid UPI account for the payer or not, and that validation happens. If that validation happens, then it goes to the remitter bank, debits from there, puts it in the payee's account, beneficiary's account, and intimates to the payee, right? So this is the routine when you want to pull a payment, ask for a payment from others, right? E-commerce UPI transaction usually happens in this fashion, right? You enter your UPI ID. This is your merchant website, e-commerce website. You enter your UPI ID. Many of them will be having the mobile number as their UPI ID. So you enter the UPI ID and say proceed to pay, right? And the notification comes to your mobile, in which you have the UPI app. The mobile containing the UPI app will receive a notification, right? So in that notification, you click on pay and you give your credentials, the PIN number primarily used for the UPI account. And once the payment is successful, it automatically returns back to the merchant website saying that the payment was successful, right? So this is the flow of the payment e-commerce UPI transaction. So normally this is the payment gateway. So through the payment gateway, it goes to the UPI, and in the UPI you put your PIN number, and the control comes back to the e-commerce website when the payment is complete, right? Okay. So this is for transacting in UPI, right? Okay. UPI safety tips. Check the name of the pay before initiating the transaction, right? Let's say that you want to make a payment to some other person. You enter their UPI ID and you'll get to see the name there, right? So once you see the name, check with the person if the name is correct. Okay, if the UPI ID and the name are matching, right? So if the name is correct, of course, we are trying to contact the same person and make a payment to them, right? Know the difference between sending and receiving using UPI apps, right? To send, you will have to pay, right? You'll have to pay and enter your PIN number. To receive in a UPI app, to receive money into your account, there is no entry of PIN number from your side required. There is no action required from your side in order to receive money, unless until you are requesting money. If you are requesting money, then you can, from the UPI app, you can request for money as done in this case. As done in this case, you can request for money. But if you are receiving money, there is no action required from your side. Only for sending money, you'll have to put the amount and the receiver's UPI ID, put the amount and put your PIN number so that you are authorized, the bank is authorized to debit amount from your account, right? Okay. Remember that you will never have to enter your PIN to receive money via UPI. Okay, so you need not enter your PIN number to receive money via UPI. Okay. Pay attention and carefully examine all messages through all communication channels from your bank, right? So always keep a check on messages that you receive from the bank. Let's say that some mishap has happened and someone has stolen your debit card or online credentials of someone, and they are trying to perform a transaction, then of course you will get a notification on your message regarding the transaction. So always check that and react to that immediately if you find something fishy about it. Okay, 10 common tricks of scammers. So try a phone scam, right? When people call in the name of TRIA, Telephone Regulatory Authority of India, and they say that your mobile is linked with illegal activities. It is performing, it's acting as a bot, it is sending across messages, something of that kind. People will claim that they are calling from TRIA and try to fool and extract money from people. Okay, that is one way. Parcel stuck at customs. Okay, someone may call and saying that we are calling from customs, and your parcel or one of your close kith or kin's parcel containing some illegal goods or items is stuck at the customs. If you bribe me, I'll release it. Okay, something of that kind is quite possible. So they are scammers. Digital arrest is known to us. It's happening to a wide extent, right? They try to threaten. They try to keep the people online, keep them engaged on a phone call or in an online meeting, and compel them, threatening them that their close relatives or friends or close in circle is in some problem. They have done some illegal activities. If you want to get them released or also you will have to make a payment of something, some amount, so that you make that happen, right? So that is another financial thing which is happening. Relative arrested, okay, right? The relative arrested is another scammer call. They simply call, say that they are calling from investigation agency or from police department, and the relative is arrested. If you want them to be released, please, I mean, do make a payment of this much, and they'll be released or something of that kind, right? Get rich quick trading, right? Nowadays stock market trade is happening to a large extent, so they try to take money from you in the name of investing in the stock market on your behalf and make you rich faster. Okay, so that is one scam, another scam which is happening. Easy tasks for big rewards, right? So they try to say that this is a simple task. If you do this simple task, you register by doing payment of 100 rupees. If you win this simple task, will be given back 1,000 rupees, right? they'll keep on doing that. It's another gambling kind of thing. They'll trap you inside. Once you make a 10,000 payment, then they will cut off and go off from there, right? So so that is another scamming which is happening, right? Credit card issued in your name, right? The fake executives, they'll call that, they'll say that credit card has been issued in your name, and you need to pay make a initial payment of so much to for the card to be delivered to your address or so, right? So these are mistaken money transfer. Someone may call and saying that they have mistakenly transferred some money to you, and some confusion they'll create, saying that they'll send a link and you need to respond back to that link or something of that kind, to fetch money from you. Some confusion they'll try to create and extract money from you in the name of mistaken money transfer. Okay, this is another threatening call or scam call, where KYC expired or the electricity bill, electricity connection will be disconnected or anything of that kind. And they'll say, few will also say that they are calling from income tax department, and there is a tax refund to be done. And for the tax refund to be initiated, you need to make so much of payment so that refund can be initiated or something of that kind, right? So trying to fool people, okay, right? The other thing is that they'll send a APK on our WhatsApp and ask us to install that APK, saying that it is a loan app. You can get instant loan or something of that kind. So they'll make people greedy and try to compel them to download the APK and install it. Okay, it won't be from the Play Store. It will be sent on the WhatsApp, or it may be sent as a link from where you have to download and install. Once you install it, of course, all the activities of the mobile will be tracked, and all the data of the mobile will be stolen, and all our details will be with the malicious actors, adversaries, right? So this is to be avoided. These are common tricks, right? Okay. So, so as far as malicious links are concerned, the browsers, existing browsers which we use, they do have some amount of intelligence to hint to the user on maliciousness of the links, right? So the only thing is that they should have identified that link to be malicious earlier. If they have blacklisted those links earlier, then these protection mechanisms, depending on the browser type, will help us get rid of malicious links, right? So in Google Chrome, these are the privacy settings. You can follow these settings, and once this setting is done, the Google Chrome will hint you that the link you are trying to visit is a malicious link, and it will stop you from visiting that. In fact, okay, right? Similarly, Mozilla Firefox, this is the settings. Microsoft Edge, this is the settings, right? So these are the settings to be followed, wherein if the malicious link is quite popular and it has been identified to be malicious earlier, then these Chrome's browser settings will help these browsers to hint to the user that it is a malicious link and we should avoid visiting it, right? Okay. Internet safety measures: always install antivirus or anti-malware solutions. Caution while sharing personal financial information. Don't share personal financial information with anyone and everyone. Only if you have a genuine cause or a reason, or only then share it. Avoid opening suspicious email. And even if you end up opening a suspicious email, avoid clicking on its link or in the attachments, right? Avoid that, right? Shop only at reputed e-commerce sites. Okay, check for its security features, HTTPS, and length of the URL, and is there any typo squatted URL. Amazon is spelled as something else to fool with a minor spelling difference. All those can be checked. Check for the authenticity of the website. It should be brand. It should be a genuine known brand. Check for customer reviews on the app. Keep receipts and order details and tracking numbers safe. Report damage or faulty merchandise immediately, right? Use strong and stringent passwords. Yeah, of course, there's a term called as passphrase. Instead of having passwords, have a passphrase. It will be easier for you to remember, because passphrase is something which is derived from a sentence. A sentence can be framed based on something that you like. Let's say that attending Cyber Jagrukta Divas today. Okay, right? So I can take the first alphabet or the first three alphabets of each of these words and frame a passphrase out of it, right? So I can easily remember this sentence: attending Cyber Jagrukta Divas, right? This is a sentence, I can easily remember it. Whereas passwords are words, and it is difficult to remember words because they don't have emotions in them. Whereas passphrases, you can attach emotions to them, so remembering is easier, right? Log out apps and close apps, right? So any mobile or any desktop or laptop where you have logged in into some portal, always log out from them. And in mobiles, close the apps if you're not using them, right? Keep software up to date. Always, you'll always have update indications, prompts sent from service providers. So always update the software and keep them updated. Disconnect suspicious calls immediately. If you feel that a call is unnecessary, it's not of use to you, immediately disconnect them before they brainwash you, right? Don't share OTP, account number, CVV, card number, or expiry date with anyone. Never share these details. These are personal details. These are these are your credentials to be used by you. These are not to be shared with anyone. Avoid public Wi-Fi networks. Avoid using public Wi-Fi networks, particularly when you're doing financial transactions, right? Avoid scanning QR codes without inquiring, right? Avoid scanning QR codes without knowing whether they are meant to make payments or whether it is the QR code displayed by the person to whom you want to make a payment. Download only from Play Store or App Store. Avoid direct download from a link and installing. Use only Play Store or App Store. Thank you. I hope the session was useful. So shall we address few questions that we have?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And yeah, I think there are a few questions which are there in the chat area. Maybe I'll just read out for you. The first question is, how do we identify the fake UPI apps? How do we identify the fake UPI apps?